Hi Libra, this is your February 2019 reading for a beautiful, beautiful month we have ahead of ourselves. After a very, very intense January and an intense 2018, we are finally looking at a very positive month after a long time. We have a new moon this month in your house of joy, in your house of romance, in your house of positive confidence. You are being propelled forward with this new moon. You're looking at a month ahead where you'll get the requisite boost, you'll get the regeneration required to come back into the fighting ring, because this is the year where you'll knock down the house, you'll bring down the house this year. You are having your own set of battles within yourselves and outside yourselves this year, because you are coming into prominence, you are coming into leadership. We only face resistance when we are doing something of significance. So if you're facing resistance right now, or you have launched something that you sort of have to convince people for, this is the month which will make things easier for you, because we have Jupiter in your house of communication, in your house of commercial skills, blessing your commercial skills, blessing your communication skills, and making a positive aspect with your house of confidence. This is the month to convince people of whatever you needed to launch and make a point to them, and make a point to them in your own in your own way, in your own unique way. Your launches and your leadership will have your creative stamp, your unique stamp on it. And that is the style that Libras are going with in 2019, because Libras will be rising in prominence through 2019 to 2020. With North Node in your career house, you will be rising in your career, in your position of prominence, in your leadership style, in your area of expertise. 2019 all the way to middle of 2020 is the time to devote yourself to rise up in your career, to rise up in whichever field you're devoted to. I always point out some of the public celebrities, or maybe certain personalities who are prominent in nature, for us to draw on in terms of what's happening in their life. Like last month I mentioned Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who's 13th October born. Just looking at her sun sign, Pluto is currently squaring her sun, and and Pluto is acting on anyone who has any planets around 21 degree of Libra, or if you are born around 13th or 14th of October, Pluto is making sure that you feel empowered within yourself to completely change the way you are in your core. It is irreversibly changing your willpower. It is irreversibly changing your emotional strength and your emotional reservoirs. And in order to do, and with that reservoir, with that willpower, you can do things, you can move mountains that you have not been able to do so far. You're forming partnerships this month. You are modifying the way you are with partners this month, but you're doing that with power, you're doing that with joy, you're doing that with the ability to persuade people about your point of view, because you feel strong in your core about what you're doing. Saturn is sort of building your strength, building the confidence to work hard on a day-to-day basis. It's keeping you consistent. It is keeping you consistent both in your work and health routine as well. So we will be looking at a combination of this power being wrapped up in a beautiful, beautiful covering this month, being delivered to the world. And that is the definition of Libra, having a strong, tough core inside, being wrapped up in a beautiful outer covering and being delivered to the world in a very soft fashion. That is Libra for you, and that is what you're becoming over the course of 2019. We can see that with AOC. She's come from a very, very different background. She's coming up within her power. She's 29 years old. She's sitting in the House of Oversight Committee with people much, much more experienced than herself, but she's coming up, she's rising up to the occasion in a different leadership style, and she's coming up with a different leadership style. On one hand, she's talking about beauty tips. On the other hand, she's talking about taxing the richest. So there's one example for you. Then is Kamala Harris. I spoke about her in the last video as well. She's 20th October born. The eclipse we had, the total lunar eclipse we had on 21st of January was exactly on her sun. That lunar eclipse launched her. She launched herself. She threw her hat into the ring in 2000 on the lunar eclipse. She decided she will run for presidency. She will run for presidency of 2020. She's come out of the shadows and decided she wants to do this. She's rising up to the occasion. That is the theme of 2019-2020 for you. I'm not any way politically affiliated to Democrats or any other party. I'm not even an American. So I'm just looking at these examples and through their charts, looking at what's happening in their life. Similarly, Theresa May. Theresa May is an earlier born Libran, but looking at the sheer power by which she's fighting the people who are opposing her, the stance, the tough stance she's taking within herself, and there might be political motivations over there, there might be other motivations over there. I'm not getting into that. I'm looking at her sheer power, the sheer willpower to stand up to the House of Commons, where there are people screaming at you, where there are people who are strongly, strangely opposing your point of view, standing up to that and doing what you think is right, going in the style that you think is right, going in the way you think is right. The muscle of willpower is what you're creating, and this month that muscle is getting some love, it's getting some reinforcement of confidence, it is getting some positivity in form of self-expression and some successes on the way. And you might have seen some successes over the course of end of January itself, but we'll see more come in the month of February. So let's dig in and collect our gifts. As we start the month, we are still under the influence of Saturn and Neptune synod that I spoke about in the last video. Neptune is making sure that it is reducing your boundaries with your surroundings and opening you up to different point of views that your co-workers are having or the people around you are giving you. At the same time, Neptune is adding some charm, it's adding love and inspiration and beauty to your personal life. You are getting some amount of support, and we saw this. I mean, a biggest example of Saturn-Neptune is Jerome Powell. I don't know if you are aware of, he's the Fed chairman, and the way he came into, he's a Libran as well, with Saturn and Neptune currently acting on his degrees. Saturn and Neptune are currently acting between 14 to 17 degrees. So if you're born around 7th to 10th of October, if you're a Libra sun, more importantly, if you're a Libra ascendant with degrees between 14 to 17 degrees, you'll be feeling Saturn Neptune the most. And it is the influence that makes 2019 a very, very special year. It is a year of manifestation because of Saturn and Neptune. Because Neptune is inspiration and Saturn puts the processes down to make your highest inspiration come to life. And your highest inspiration about your work, highest inspiration about your health. And Saturn will keep on reminding you when you're not sticking to the routine, whether it is related to your health. It will remind you when you're not sticking to your work routines as well. Unfortunately or fortunately, it will not let you have any kind of excuses to deviate from health and work routines. Giving the example I was giving of Jerome Powell, who is the Fed chairman, I don't know if you have observed his style. He was known as a Fed chairman whose speaking style did not excite markets, and he has over the course of last 1 year changed the way he's speaking to the world, because he has also suddenly come into power. He was not aiming to become a Fed chairman. He was suddenly asked to become one. But he is rising to that leadership style, and he's changing the way he communicates to the people to make his messaging go down better with the markets. It's not that he has changed what he wants to deliver. He's still delivering what he thinks is right. He's changing the way he's presenting it to the world. So Neptune sort of adds this layer of softness, this soft inspirational layer to make your messaging go down faster. And the first 10 days of the month are excellent to convince somebody about any new launch you have done, any new viewpoint you have, any new thought process that you want to bring about. There is an opening that is available to us with Uranus making a positive impact with Mercury, as well as Mercury and Jupiter working together. The first 10 days of the month are brilliant for new thought processes, are brilliant for negotiation. They're great to communicate with your co-workers, to have a creative outlet, to sort of, if there's a new creative idea you want to launch to the world, it, for the first 10 days of the month are best to do that. The Saturn and Neptune synod is also sort of bringing the focus on completing things, on completing the projects that we start, on bringing things that we always thought we wanted to do at work. It wants you to complete that. Similarly, the health projects that we thought we wanted to do, it wants you to complete those health projects. And in the second half of the month, after 10th of February, the focus on these health and work routines will get emphasized, because we'll have Mercury also move into this house and Saturn will make aspect to that. So Saturn will make sure that over the next 9 weeks, if there are any health related issues, any work related snags that are there in terms of your day-to-day routines that are not serving you well, they are fixed, and you will be going back and forth over certain projects. You'll be going back and forth over your diet, over your health routines from 10th of February all the way to middle of April to make that happen. Saturn and Neptune especially acting, as I said, from 14 to 17 degree. So this inspiration coming to reality, this manifestation of dreams, especially true if you have planets between 12 to 20 degree of Libra. So if you're born between 5th to 13th of October, as I mentioned, 7th to 10th of October is the most potent area, but a wider orb, 5th to 13th of October, you have the gift of bringing your highest aspirations of work, highest aspirations of health to reality this month. And I would request you to use this energy to channel it, to sort of bring your work in, bring the inspiration to work, and bring the you'll find the discipline. You'll find the discipline to be able to do things this month, whether it is work related or health related. And we get the power apart from the discipline, because on 1st or 2nd of February, we have the two powerhouses, Mars in Aries and Pluto in Capricorn. These two are coming together. This is sheer motivation. This is power surge. This is very, very tough power within your heart to handle any kind of criticism, to handle any kind of opposition from partners, handle any kind of difficulties you might be having in terms of convincing somebody about your point of view. This is sheer power in your ability to relate to other people. We spoke about this in the last video as well, which was about becoming more relatable. But this right here is not just being relatable. This is about being powerful in your core to convince your partners about your point of view. So any resistance you were facing within yourself to save your viewpoint or to be able to convince people, you'll feel that you are very, very confident. You're very, very sure of what you want to do when this aspect happens. The thing to look out for, as I mentioned in the introduction, whenever you come up in power like that, there will be people, there will be partners, there will be even your committed partners to some extent who may not like this new you. So being a little bit careful if we are starting a power struggle of sorts, because you don't want to waste this energy for ego struggles, for ego fights. You want this to create acceptance of your ideas, to make a point, and this energy will grow during the course of February. At the end of the month as well, we have this Pluto energy, this power to convince people, feeling strong within your core that you're right, that you're able to sort of make your point with power, with beauty to people. We have that available around 22nd and 23rd of February as well. I'll speak about it later part of the video as well. Then on 3rd of February, Venus is moving into your home and family sector. So your ruler will be dominantly blessing your personal life this month, and your personal life will become the focus, in my view, to some extent during the course of February. It is the time to add beauty to your home. It is the time to create positivity in your home environment. It is the time to make your inner self happy this month. You're adding motivation and refurbishing your fuel this month to be able to take down the house. You may need to overcome resistances, as I mentioned. So this is where you get your support support. This is where you get emotional foundations refurbished. Beautify the house, invest in your house, invest in real estate if you may. During the course of this month, you might see opportunities come about to do that. Later half of the month, around 22nd or 19th of February, you might see opportunities to hone down on certain real estate investments if you're looking to invest in something new for your house or to embellish your house to some extent. On 4th of February, we have the most beautiful aspect and the very beautiful new moon. I spoke about it in separate video as well, but I'll speak about it in more detail here with respect to your sign, which is the new moon happening in Aquarius in your house of joy. This is optimistic, this is hopeful, this is innovative solutions that work for you and for your partners. You're working on your joy, you're working on your talents. This is fresh infusion of energy into your creative juices. You're looking to take more risk in your business. You're looking to take more risk in your personal life, which will be emphasized by this new moon, which will be supported by this new moon. You have very, very supportive influences during the course of 4th of February to 18th of February to launch something creative, to create something which has your personal stamp on it. It could be a new project at work which is creative in nature. It could be an actual passion of yours that you want to bring to life. It could be a new romance that is your passion, that is your love that you want to bring to life. Or it could be a child that you're bringing to life, or something new and beautiful in the life of your child which is coming to life. This is beauty, this is passion, this is positivity infused in your persona, and you will be irresistible with it. This is a very irresistible aspect. It's adding romance, it's adding charm, it's adding beauty to you. Aquarius is a very different energy. It is a cool energy. It is a complete break from what we had last month. It is a cool-headed energy which conducts its business in cooperation with people. So this energy jives well with you. This is exactly your personality. This personality jives with you. You're bringing this lovable personality of yours out to a larger set of people. So communicate, be out, interact with people during this time, because Jupiter is making a positive aspect with this new moon all the way to 7th or 8th of February. So the first 10 days of the month, Jupiter is making sure that you invite favor from people in your surroundings, that you get your own courage, your own skills support you to go for it, to go for investments, to go for new business ideas, to take a risk in love, to do something that is that brings childlike joy to you. Essentially, you're expanding your joy with this, especially if you have planets between 12 to 18 degree of Libra, which is 5th to 11th October born. You might be actually launching a new business. You might be launching a project which has your creativity on it. You might be meeting a loved one, or you might be looking to give birth to a child, or you might be looking at something positive happening in your firstborn's life, in your first child's life. We are being sort of excited right after that to take action on this, because Mercury and Mars, your mental power, your power to communicate, is meeting action. So whatever you're thinking about, the innovative ideas that are coming to you, you're implementing them right off the bat from 6th to 9th of February. And the first 13 days of the month, they are very, very potent, very energetic to make things happen. If there are new things that you need to start, the first 13 days of the month is when you should do that, because Mars is in your fellow cardinal sign of Aries. It is known to start new things, to start new projects, start something that is out of the box, which is innovative, and create acceptance of that. Mercury and Mars are meeting together from 6th to 8th of February, which is around 25 degree. Now, this energy is available to all of us. I'm just letting you know for which specific date born Libra, or which specific degree Libra ascendant, sun or moon, this is most potent for who should and must take advantage of these energies. So if you're born around 18th of October, or if you have planets around 25 degree of Libra, take advantage of 6th to 9th of February to create partnerships, to publicize your brilliant ideas, your innovative ideas that work for you, that work for others, that are great for self-expression, and get your clients. Forge partnership, create new partnerships for your business. If there is a love relationship that you are in, creating a more permanent and long-term bind for that, proposing somebody, proposing marriage, or going ahead and looking at creating a long-term partnership with somebody. If you're born around 18th of October, or if you have planets around 25°, that is the best time to do it. But the luck extends beyond 12 to 18° of Libra, or beyond 5th to 11th October born, because Jupiter moves forward. Jupiter moves all the way to 20th or 19° of Libra. So we are looking at even till 14th or 15th October born, who will see very, very potent results in terms of self-expression, old hobbies becoming important, hobbies becoming talents, talents becoming becoming jobs, becoming businesses. You're looking to launch something that you thought is very personal to you into a commercial arena, and this is the aspect to do that as well, to publicize it to people, to launch a media campaign, to launch something where you need acceptability of people around you. Now this is happening at 15° Aquarius. In symbolic astrology, this is shown as two lovebirds sitting on a fence singing happily, and that is exactly what this is. This is union of perspective. This is happiness out of working together collectively with people. This is ideal of harmony and concord in relationships, and hopefully we'll see this in our world leaders as well, people coming up with the third way that works for everybody. If that is the new moon in Aquarius for you, it comes up with an innovative solution which works for both the point of views. It is not about changing your perspective, changing what you are trying to say or your point of view. It's about blending your point of view with somebody else and creating a third path, an innovative path that works for everybody. So your self-expression, your project, your creative talents will undergo the Aquarius influence, which is to figure out how to make this work for a larger set of audience, for larger set of partners for you. So if there have been any differences with your partners, this is a great time to mend that over, to discuss with them, to find an innovative solution in the process of it. Mercury and Uranus are working together in order to do that from 7th to 10th of February. This is about coming up with an innovative solution, coming up with the third way that works for you and your partner. This is not about bending your perspective. Aquarius is not about giving up your independence, giving up your perspective, or giving up your individuality. This is about creating something innovative that takes their individuality and yours into point of view, and then create a solution that works for both. The birds who are sitting on the fence are sitting on the fence. They are still two parts. They're still partitioned. The fence is a partition, but they're sitting on it happily together and singing. So that's the new moon for you. The energy changes around 9th or 10th of February. Aries moon is a little bit stressful for you, so look out for that around 9th or 10th of February. It could be a little bit emotionally charged day, not just because of moon, but we have a charged up aspect as well happening, which is exact on 13th of February, but you'll start feeling that from 9th or 10th of February itself. This is the aspect which I call Independence Day aspect, because it's very freeing, very liberating, but very, very volatile. It is a flashpoint. Mars and Uranus are meeting each other for the last time in our lifetime. Next time they will meet together in your partnership sector will be 84 years later. We are looking at these two planets coming together to release your partnership style, the way you are with your partner, the way your partners look at you, and it is removing any kind of hindrances, any limiting situations. There's an urge to break free of any limiting situation. It's very spontaneous. It has an urgency to it. It has a risk-on attitude and excitement embedded within one package. It is looking to innovate the way you are in your partnership. Uranus has been working for the last 7 years to change the way you are with your partners, with your business partners, with your personal partner, and your partners, especially your marriage partner, might have undergone changes as well as a process of that. That whole 7-year cycle is coming to an end now. And with that, we are coming to the end of the road. We are getting over with some way of being in a partnership. We know that after this we are going to be different in how we deal with our partners, in how we relate to people, in how we never put ourselves in any limiting situation whereby we compromise our self-expression, we compromise our interest, we compromise our security to fulfill our partners. That will not be the way to go. You're releasing any hindrances that is not letting you progress in your career by holding anything back because of your partners. You're dealing with this head on. You're dealing with the issues that are there head on. You're dealing with anything that is, and anyone, any authority that is stopping you as well head on right now. And this is a great time to overcome resistance if we are the kind of person who was not speaking up, and there might be few of you still who may be holding back their point of view in order to create a positive situation. But that is not positive in long run. You are being asked to give up any hindrances to your self-expression with your partners at this stage. Be open and have a dramatic shift in your partnership, in your clientele, in your business partnership. You are looking at getting over anything that is not real in your partnership. You are having an open discussion. You're having a risk on discussion right now. 29 degree of Aries is depicted in symbolic astrology as a conductor who raises his baton and vibrates it rapidly. He suddenly points it to the violin who enter on a trembo. This is right time to act. This is seizing the opportunity, whether it is in form of closing a deal with a client by speaking your mind, closing a partner, convincing a partner about your point of view by being open about it and not holding back your point of view anymore, being open with it, but at the same time being careful that we are not burning our bridges here. Be very careful in terms of burning your bridges, as well as being in tune with the situation, getting in and speaking up at the right time, at the right place, in the right setting. This is the Venus of Marilyn Monroe. This is the Mars of Steve Jobs. This is a degree to go for it. This is the time to go for it. So if there's been anything that has been stopping you, and this could be a change in the life of your partner as well. Maybe your marriage partner is undergoing some amount of dramatic change in the way they are as a person as well, and we see the end result of that. But your relationship with them has got to change as well as a result of that, in order for you to be taken care of, in order for your career goals to be taken care of. North Node is in your career house. We are acting to release your full potential in your career this year. So if there's anything that is stopping you from getting there, you're handling that, you're creating an innovative solution around that, because this is the season of innovation. We are looking at some sort of innovative model of partnership which can support you, which can support your partners, a viewpoint that can work for you and him, but it does not compromise your independence. So this is the very exciting, very dramatic aspect that is happening around 13th of February. Now this is especially if you're around 29 degree of Libra, which means you're on the cusp, around 20th to 22nd October born, you are looking at very potent impact of this. There might be a shift in your partnership, a change in your partnership, an end of an old cycle and start of a new one in a committed relationship or a committed partnership. So be on lookout for that. This is not the first time this aspect is happening, but it's the first time it's happening at 29 degree. So the potency and the urgency of this is very high. Then on 14th of February, Mars moves into Taurus, into your house of proceeds of partnership. So that is very hot and sexy to happen on the Valentine's Day. This points to a very hot and sexy Valentine's Day. Mars will be there till 31st of March. The focus will shift on finances. The focus will shift on how to take care of your health, how to maintain the proceeds of your partnership, how to manage the intimacy, how to manage the financial impact of your partnership, how to take care of any health issue, any health addictions as well. And you'll have the energy to sort of persist and be determined and stable and look at the long term and make things happen. The first 14 days of the month are more about making the changes. The second half of the month is more about maintaining and taking care of you. On 15th of February, we have an aspect which is very scintillating. Sun and Uranus, they're working together. This is exciting news in partnership. There might be excitement in your existing partnership, some free expression with your partner. It's an excellent romantic time as well. When Sun and Uranus are together, we are getting exciting news. We feel excitement in our body about something new that is about to come in our partnership, and about the newness in the current partnership that you might have achieved by having an honest discussion. On 18th of February, Venus and Saturn are meeting together in your home and family sector. This is more sober in nature. The second half is more sober in general. There's more self-control in second half. We're looking at getting real in terms of what we need in our house, what we need for our security, what we sort of need for our own health. What do we need to take care of our health? And that will be the focus as well, because Mercury will be there for 9 weeks. For 9 weeks, Mercury will be going back and forth over your health house. So you'll be looking and researching new ways, new diets, new ways of keeping healthy. All the way to middle of April, because in March Mercury is going retrograde. So you'll be rethinking how to take care of any fluid situation in your schedule which is not giving you time enough to take care of yourself, which is in your work situation as well, which is not efficient for you. You're looking to add more efficiency in your day-to-day to take care of yourself, and the seriousness of that, in my view, increases after 16th of February. This is happening around 16 to 17 degrees. So if you have any planets around 16, 17 degree of Libra, or if you're born around 9th to 10th of October, it might be a good time to think of a diet, to think of how to fulfill you better, how to improve the situation in your home and family to support you better. It could also be a good time to hone down on a real estate investment idea. If you have been looking to invest in a house or embellish anything in the home, that is a good time. 16 to 20th of February, so specifically 18th of February is a good day to do that. Mercury and Neptune meet together on 19th of February. It's Venus and Saturn like this could be very depressing together, but there is an inspiration that is coming. There's creativity, there is more happiness that is coming. With Mercury and Neptune together, you're looking at more inspiring ideas on how to handle your day-to-day, how to add more fun in your day-to-day, how to add more fun ways of taking care of your health. And you're sort of bringing that with the practical steps of Saturn to figure out how to make that a reality. You could take inputs from somebody elder. Maybe your mom has some ideas on health tips that work for your family, or maybe looking at somebody in your family who has any tips for you, who has any guidance for you. Consulting anybody who's elder than you at this time from 16th to 20th of February on both real estate ideas as well as on your health and work will be very, very beneficial. So use the consult of your family, of somebody elder than you, to get inputs for that. From 19th of February, Sun also moves into your 6th house. It's the time to focus on your work and health routine. But before we get there, we need a little bit of a break. You might need a little bit of downtime to finish the old cycle. Because on 19th of February, we have the new moon in your 12th house. This is a beautiful new moon, beautiful full moon to bring some self-care into light. You're taking care of your health. You're regenerating for the next 2 weeks. It's a good time to create a health routine for yourself. Create some personal space, some privacy for yourself. This points to sleep. This points to regeneration. This points to your need to take a downtime of at least a few days to give yourself the time to get rid of the old cycle, to be done with the old cycle, to study for a little bit, to recharge, to read, to dig deep, to dream, to gather your resources behind the scene before your full moon happens in March, because we'll be having all lights on you in March when we have your full moon at the end of March. And there might be some unconscious beliefs that might get highlighted when you take this downtime. You might find some things that are not helping you in your diet, in your emotional world, and it is the time to deal with our own demons. It's a very, very beautiful and positive new moon. There are no challenges to it. More importantly, it's coming with regulars. So you are very, very bold in terms of handling any fears during this time. If you'll give yourself the time, if you'll give yourself a few days even for downtime, if there are any hindrances that have been stopping you from moving forward, any fears, any phobias, any thought processes, these are hidden enemies which are within ourselves that stop us from moving forward. You will get a propeller energy to move forward from this. You'll get the energy to be regenerated to take on what's coming next month to you. Because when full moon happens in our sign, we are looking to complete a cycle and start a new one. You will be looking to complete a chapter and start with a new one in your leadership style, in your career during the course of March. So I would request you to spend some time alone, study, read, recharge, dig deep, travel if you can, long distance, gather your resources, be whole. It's a great time to start a charity or do any kind of service if you are interested in it, or if you have any kind of faith, spending time in a faith practice, going for a retreat, going for any kind of yoga practice. Even if you are working, and you could be working right now because sun is in your work house right now, so it's possible that you're working on projects while this is happening. So maybe taking an hour or two of downtime in a day to recharge yourself, to go to the water, to go and have a yoga class. Doing that would benefit you immensely right now. It's a very, very powerful full moon. It is happening with regulars. So whatever you start right now, and if you start a spiritual practice right now, or the aspect is actually very supportive to create a formal spiritual practice, getting into a course or starting your own spiritual practice. If you do that right now, or if you start a charity as well, if you start any service process right now, the success of that would be immense, because this full moon is aspecting Regulus. Regulus is a very bold, very fiery, it's a royal star. It's a royal star. It makes anything that is small into bold and beautiful. It is the Regulus moon is known for Margaret Thatcher and Winston Churchill. We have a very powerful month this month, and this full moon is no different. It is a very bold full moon. So if you want to start a charity practice or a spiritual practice, it will have this stamp of boldness on it. Even a creative venture, it will have a stamp of Regulus on it, which is excellent to have. And this full moon is also a culmination of things. If you started something last month, you launched a project, or you launched a communication, or you launched a website, this is sort of you regrouping as well. You're taking the time to regroup and figure out how to move forward with it, and you have resources to support you at this time, because just after the full moon on 22nd of February, we have Mercury meeting lucky Jupiter. So if there are any confusions at work, any confusions or King's last minute changes at work that need to be done in your project, Jupiter will give you the confidence, the flow, the support from your surroundings to be able to do that. But one thing to remember right now is that from 19th of February, Mercury is entering its shadow period. So if there are any documentations being signed at work, any projects being started at work which are new in the second half of the month, they will be subjected to revision over the course of next couple of months, over the course of next couple of weeks, because Mercury will be going retrograde in March on the very degrees that it's going through from 19th of February onwards. So you'll be seeing some amount of revision required of any documentation being done right now, any projects being done, any new starts that you're having right now, they might be subjected to modifications, which is fine. We just spend more time on it, we see a different point of view and we fix it. There's nothing dramatic happening as a result of that. But being careful in terms of signing anything, especially on 19th of February. I would not suggest you to get into a financial commitment at this time around 19th of February, even though you might be reviewing real estate ideas and it's a good time to find them, but ratification of them, because the documentation and the processes, your thought process may not be very clear right now. You might want to wait for signing something on at this stage, or even if you're signing something, being very careful in terms of the text of it all, or showing it to somebody who's experienced, who's elder, who's maybe one of your parents, would be advisable at this time. On 23rd of February is a better time to figure out any issues in the projects, getting to the depth of it, persuade people. If there's any pitch that you've been looking to make at work, 23rd of February is a very, very powerful day to do that. And you'll feel powerful in your core as well, because Venus is meeting Pluto as well. You feel very strong on 22nd and 23rd of February. In fact, we need to be a little bit careful in how strongly we are coming across on 22nd or 23rd of February. It's a very intense power up kind of a day, a very passionate day for your personal life as well. Good to figure out financial investments, firing up for it, but at the same time being careful that we're not causing power struggle at home as a result of that, with your mother especially if you're born around 21-22 degrees. It's the AOC syndrome. As I said, Pluto is around your degrees, so if you're 13th or 14th October born, you are under the influence of AOC right now, under the Pluto influence, which is intense, deep. You're trying to persuade people, you're going all cylinders on, going to convince people right now, which is a good time to do it. It is the time to feel power on, but being careful in your personal life as a result of that. On 25th of February is a beautiful day. It is the day for love, it is the day for health, it is the day to add some practicality to the things you're working on in terms of your creativity or in your home. Brace your heart towards the end of February. Venus and Uranus are meeting each other around 1st of March. There might be certain personal surprises. Now, either you might be surprising your partner or your partner might surprise you. There might be some changes in your personal life, in my view, at the time. So being ready for it, being ready for the excitement of it, being ready for anything in terms of surprises. And I feel it's a positive surprise, because it's not something that has not been worked on before. This is something that you need, that you want, that is required to sort of change the way you are in a partnership, to shift your partnership to the next level, to shift the way you need things to be successful in your partnership, both in your business partnership as well as your personal partnership. Because of Venus involvement over here, I feel this will be more of a personal partnership. It could be that your partner is undergoing some change, or it might be you who's changing in the partnership and who wants a different dynamic at this stage. Sun and Mars are meeting together. You feel very powered on at the end of the month to make some changes. If there are any diet detox, anything you want to cut out of your life, anything that is holding you back, and it could be a toxic person, it could be a toxic health issue, it could be a toxic food that you're not able to leave behind. This is addictions. This is us being able to cut off any addictions from our life and detox that on 27th of February. That's an excellent day to do that. Even 23rd of February, as I said, 22nd and 23rd of February are power days. So if you want to get rid of any addictions, anything in your health area that is not serving you well, do that on 22nd, 23rd or 27th of February. You will stick with it when you do that. Chiron is moving into your partnership sector, so we will be looking to heal your partnerships going forward. You'll be given the opportunity to look at healing your personal relationships. You will become sort of an example of how partnerships are handled. You are a partnership sign, but with Chiron over there, you will see in the coming months that your partnerships will become even more focused for you, especially your committed partners, whether they're business or relationship. There's a healing required in that, and we are entering a phase to do that. So have a great month ahead. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Thank you.